Russian buttercream. What is this thing, right? Well, we're going to start off like any buttercream with butter, room temperature. You're going to want to set that out for a few hours. If you have to microwave it, you can, but you definitely don't want it melted. Definitely not. So room temperature, and usually I would use a paddle, but this actually you want to use a whisk, and you are actually going to let this go for about 5 to 7 minutes. You want it nice and fluffy. Now you'll see here I actually have to scrape it down a lot, which you should always do to make sure it's well incorporated and all the ingredients are kind of getting the same treatment. However, I find that this recipe, you either need to double it so that it works better in the mixer and a stand mixer, though that does make a lot of frosting, or I would recommend maybe using a hand mixer if you have one. So just some thoughts. Otherwise, you can make it work like this, just a lot more because it's not a lot of ingredients to go around, so it just kind of clings to the edges and not so much in the beater. So after you give it that 5 to 7 minutes, make sure it is nice and light and fluffy. You're going to put in that secret ingredient, not powdered sugar, not granulated sugar, but sweetened condensed milk. I only heard of this when on one of my other videos trying to figure out the best recipe for the Russian cake tips that have become popular. Someone said, well, why don't you use Russian buttercream? And I was like, what is this nonsense? In culinary classes, we just use American buttercream, and then I was introduced here on YouTube to Swiss meringue and to Italian meringue buttercreams, but I did not know about Russian. So if you know another kind I should try, definitely let me know. And if you've tried this, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I did get mixed reviews. I really like it, but it is very, very different from the other buttercreams that I mentioned. So it's worth giving it a try. It's nice and easy. You're not getting powdered sugar everywhere. You don't have to cook it like you might have to with the meringue buttercreams. And it's literally this simple. Now I did put in some vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 cubes of butter. I'll put the recipe down below. This is just for one. And then 1 14-ounce sweetened condensed milk at room temperature. And you mix it in. You do it in thirds with the sweetened condensed milk. And then if you want to make really ugly cupcakes in a hurry for Halloween, which is already passed, you can top that there. That's just an example of what I used it on. And of course, like any other frosting, you certainly can dye it really easily. And another example, I'm going to show you a couple more of using tips and also on a fun cake that I made recently, so you can definitely check out the video for this, which if you remember hearing about the team trees, great cause, and also some tips on how to not get crumbs in your frosting are on that video, so go check it out. And this is totally different than any others that I've tried. I don't know if it's going to be my go-to. It's really simple, but I don't know yet. Then the real question needs to be answered, is Russian buttercream the best for the Russian cake tips? And the answer is not necessarily. That's going to be in another video. I finally figured out the secret, but I need to do some extra testing, and subscribe to make sure you see that video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and check out my playlist with all the different kinds of frosting. So many tasty, tasty variations. Have a lovely and sweet day.